Let's turn to our practice for today. Unfortunately, Rebecca Schisler, who was scheduled to lead us in practice, was called away and unable to lead us today. So I am stepping in, and I'm grateful to do so because this week the Torah portion for the Shabbat is Parshat Bamidbar. Happens to be my bar mitzvah Torah portion 55 years ago. So it's wonderful for me to revisit it, and it's one that is especially close to my heart. And as you'll see in a moment, that really is the theme for our practice today, is attending to the heart. The Hebrew phrase for paying attention is simu lev, or sim lev, place heart. So there's a close connection between our mindfulness practice of cultivating attention to what is true in the moment and our capacity to have access to our heart, to each other's hearts, and to the heart of the universe. And that's going to be our practice today. So thanks to Kat for dropping the link to the sheet I'm going to share in a moment. I just want to share a couple of sources to bring us into the practice today. Just give me a moment. And here we go. So today is day 43 of the Omer. It is the first day of the final week of the Omer, week 7, which is the week of Malchut, day 43. Today is the combination of qualities, or the sfirot, for this day. The first day of the 7th week is Chesed Sheba Malchut, loving connection in divine presence. The week of Malchut is a week of cultivating awareness of the immanence of the divine, the presence of God in every moment, in everything, in every experience. And I want to begin just by calling up a verse from the book of Exodus that we read a while back this year, Exodus 25, Parshat Truma, Exodus 25, verse 8, in which God instructs Moses to tell the people, "Va'asu li mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham." God tells Moses to tell the people, "Make me a sanctuary, make me a mikdash, a sacred space, that I may dwell." And the Hebrew word is b'tocham, which could mean among them, could mean between them, it could mean within them. The goal of building the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the wilderness, was to cultivate and to make space for, or awareness of, the divine presence among and within the people. And in this week's Torah portion, Parshat Bamidbar, there is a description of the organization of the tribes as they prepare finally to leave Mount Sinai. The book of Numbers, which would begin the Shabbat, the first couple of Torah portions are preparations for leaving Mount Sinai. And as you can see from the visual here, although it presents it as a rectangle, it really should be a square that is equal on all 4 sides. Each of the tribes is arrayed around the Mishkan. 3 tribes on each side. And in the inner circle, we have the Levites and the subdivisions of the Levites, who are charged with assembling and disassembling and caring for the Mishkan, including the priests, Moses and Aaron, and Aaron's sons, the Kohanim. Everyone has a place, and each tribe has its place, and within each tribe there is a sub-organization of each clan and each family staying together. Everyone has this place in an arrangement. When we look at that diagram, we look at that kind of blueprint for sacred community. It is also in many ways kind of a diagram or blueprint for awareness of sacred presence, of Malchut. So that verse back in Exodus 25, Suli Mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham, finds its realization this week as the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the work of the tabernacle is completed. The tribes are arrayed around it. And the medieval Spanish Jewish philosopher, Yehuda Halevi, and poet, writes this about that arrangement, that the whole body is harmoniously arranged, but under control of the heart in the middle, the tabernacle, the Mishkan, which forms the primary home of the soul. Its localization in the brain is of secondary importance, the heart remaining its regulator, in exactly the same way as the living, godly people arranged. We are arranged so that the heart is the primary home of the soul. And the diagram brings our attention to what lies at the center. One more text, which is a midrash on this passage in the book of Numbers. In this one, in the midrash, God says to Moses, "Emor lahem," say to the people, "Sheya'asu mishkan beinehem." It's a slightly different wording there. Tell them to make a tabernacle between them or in their midst, as I am, as it were, leaving my upper realm, as it were, and descending to dwell among them. In this parsha, in the book of Bamidbar, in Parsha Bamidbar, God is making God's self present and dwelling among the people. One way to think about this in a non-dualistic way is that actually what's happening is not that God is descending, but that to dwell among the people, but that the people are increasing in their awareness of the presence of the divine among them, and they are able to better manifest that divine presence within them. Moreover, God made them serve under God's standard, God's flag. The Holy One said to Moses, "Make them standards to Galim in my name." For what reason? Because they are my children. As it is written, "You are the children of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, your God, and they, the Israelites, are my hosts." Tzvaot, as it is stated, "And bring forth my host and my people, the children of Israel, from out of Egypt." So, without getting too lost in the weeds here, let's recap that and bring that into our practice. We have a spiritual diagram, spiritual blueprint offered in this week's Torah portion, which locates God in the heart, in our own heart, because that diagram can be a map of our very selves. It can be a map of our people. It can be a map of the universe. It teaches that the spiritual center is the heart. And so I want to invite us today to practice with the suggestion of this week's Torah portion, to grow in our awareness of God's presence within us and among us right now, just as if we are gathering to prepare to leave Sinai, like our ancestors, and arranging ourselves and having our own specific place. So let's begin, and I'll guide us a little bit, and then we'll sit in silence for a bit. If you're comfortable resting your feet on the floor, you can adjust yourself on your chair or whatever you're sitting on, your cushion. Maybe let your hands rest in your lap, however is comfortable for you. They can be resting with the palms down, resting on your upper thighs, if you're comfortable with the palms facing up, or just interlacing your fingers in your lap. Rolling the shoulders back, opening the heart space. You might want to do that a few times. Just roll the shoulder blades back if you can, if that's available for you. And bring attention to that heart space up here, the rib cage. And with each breath into the belly, noticing how the rib cage expands. And let yourself be filled with chayut, with divine life energy with each breath. Imagine yourself as the Mishkan. You are a manifestation of divine presence. And the Midrash teaches you are a child of God. So imagine yourself right now as a child of God, as a being created, B'Tselem Elohim, in the divine image, through which the divine is flowing at every moment when you become aware, and you can become aware of that. So let's begin just by bringing attention to our own hearts and feeling the pulsation of the beating heart, our own beating heart right now, reminding us of our aliveness. Tell them to make me a Mishkan that I may dwell betocham. Make yourself a Mishkan right now and see if you can allow God to dwell within you. And as we're visualizing the Mishkan, or using the gates of imagination to imagine the Mishkan within us, you can think about the different components that are in there. There's the glow of the menorah, the ner tamid, the light that never goes out. There is the ark, the Aron, that carries within it all the wisdom you need. The luchot, the tablets. In fact, both the whole tablets and the broken tablets, which Moses shattered. So embracing our own brokenness and our own wholeness. We're aware of the deep sacred wisdom that resides within each one of us. In the Mishkan of the heart, tabernacle of the heart. And as we honor the divine within us, as we honor our own wholeness and our own brokenness at the same time, as we nurture our own awareness of being clay kodesh, of being holy vessels, conduits for the divine presence in this world, shift and draw our focus to each other wherever we're sitting, just being aware of a group of about 180 souls sitting together at the same time, beating hearts, 180 beating hearts right now. And instead of being 180 separate mishkans, tabernacles, let's imagine ourselves as one single mishkan, one heart beating together, honoring each other's brokenness and wholeness, honoring each other's light. In our own unique place, sitting and arranged around a single mishkan. for the last few minutes of our sit, inviting you, if you haven't done so already, just to place a hand in your heart space. See if you can discern your own pulse, the beat of your own heart. And see if you can connect that pulse, those pulsations, those vibrations with the pulsations of the heartbeat of this group, and even the pulsation in the space around you, connecting our heart with each other's hearts and with the heart of this universe. So just resting in Malchut, in the divine presence. We bring our sit to a close. We pray that we might be blessed like our ancestors with a palpable sense of living in the presence of the divine, just by bringing attention to our own heart. By bringing attention to our own souls, by being aware of the hearts of each other, of the broken hearts in this world. And may we always feel a resonance between our own heartbeat and the heartbeat of this universe. And you can remain with your eyes closed, or if you'd like to begin to allow them to open. We'll end with this poem by E. E. Cummings. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. So friends, we seal that practice, that heart-centered practice for this Shabbat, and also for today, day 43 of the Omer, the day of loving connection in divine presence, of bringing our heart, of connecting with divine presence through our heart and through our souls, and by connecting with each other's hearts as well. We conclude that with the mourner's Kaddish for those of you who are in mourning, or if you have a yard site, or if it's your custom to join us. And if you're not, I hope you can stay present and support those who are by creating a minyan of comfort. And you can put the name or names of those you're honoring today in the chat. And either now or after we recite Kaddish, thanks to Kat for sharing the words of Kaddish on the screen. And if you're reciting it with me, please join me by rising in body or in spirit, and you can unmute at this time. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shemei Rabbah, Yamad, Yehi Shmei Rabban Barach v'yishtabach v'yikram v'yitnaseh Adar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kedusha Ela min kol birchata v'nechamata Miran ba'alma Yehi Shlama Rabban Shemaya Aleinu Yalko Yisrael Amen. Shalom V'Bracha
Shalom Aleinu Al Kol Yosei Tevel V'Imru. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thanks everyone for joining us today. I want to wish everyone a sweet and restorative Shabbat as we move into the book of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, and the final week of the Omer. Reminder, we'll be back next week with sessions Monday through Thursday, but Thursday night is Shavuot, the holiday of Shavuot. So Thursday night and Friday, that is day one of Shavuot. So we will not be meeting a week from today, but we will be together Monday through Thursday next week, and we hope you can join us then. I want to thank Kat, as always, for holding our space, and each of you for being here. And I'm happy to stay on to respond to questions in the chat or reflections on the experience, and also invite you to sit with me for a few minutes, and I'll play a version of what's known as, I guess, the sanctuary song, based on that verse from Parshat Truma and Exodus, V'asuli mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham. Tell them to make me a mikdash that I may dwell among them. So we'll sit for a few more minutes at the end. Thank you all very much for the kind words. So if there are any questions, you can preface it with that. And if not, I'll play the song. And we can sit for a few minutes and let this just kind of percolate into Shabbat for us. Thanks, everyone. So I think I'll do this. I'm going to put the words to the poem back up, and then play. Actually, do more than play the melody. I'm going to share my favorite version of that song, sung by cantor Julia Cadrain when she was a cantor at Central Synagogue in New York. Just, I think, an extraordinarily beautiful rendition of it. And if you like, you can just sit with the music and close your eyes and bring that into the rest of your day and into the Shabbat. So here's the poem first. Just a wonderful E. Cummings poem. E. Cummings lived when he lived in Greenwich Village, lived downtown here and on Patchen Place in Greenwich Village. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear, and whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. Okay, so let's sit for a few minutes and I will share. As I mentioned, I'll share, let's see. Oops. I'll do full screen in a sec. Here we go. All right, please enjoy. Cantor Julia Cadrain. I guess I should share the link to that. Sorry, folks. Here, let me, for those who might want to keep going with that, here you go. And wishing you all a sweet Shabbat. May you stay connected to your heart and to each other's hearts. And we'll look forward to seeing you back here on Monday at our usual time. Thanks to Kat. Thanks to each of you. And Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Be well, everyone.